Monologue for Selah, bringing spring to Willa Falls. I cry in the vernacular this plain manifesto. No matter how many fishmen offer you their laps, or how contrary you are in the morning, or how your hair gleams like dark lightning, or how many lies the encyclopedia preserves, because Selah, I won't play them parlor seducer games, card tricks of chat, sleight of hand caresses, or stick my head in books. I love your raspy backwoods accent, your laughter like ice breaking up. I'd burn dictionaries to love you even once. Selah, I tell myself I come to Willa Falls to spy the river crocheted with apple blossoms, to touch you whose hair fans in mystery, whose smile is Cheshire and shadow and bliss, whose scent is brown bread, molasses, and milk, whose love is Coca-Cola and rose petals in a ship's cabin soaked in salt water. But my lies lie. My colleged speech ripens before you, becomes Negro natural, those green soiled words whose roots mingle with turnip, carrot, and squash, keeping philology fresh and tasty. You slouch and sigh, that sassy love speech, and aroused, very aroused, I exult your decisive eyes, your definitive lips, your thighs that be emboldened by childbirth. For when you move, every line of poetry quakes, and I inhale your perfume, ground roses, distilled petals, praise your blue skirt bright against your bare black legs. You won't wear stockings. I'm scripting this lyric because I'm too shy to blurt my passion for you, Selah. My history is white wine from a charred log, a white horse galloping in a meadow, a dozen chicks quitting an egg carton tomb, but also selfish, suicidal love. I don't want that. Selah, I want to lie beside you and hear you whisper this poem and giggle. Selah, I thought this poem was finished. Selah, I am bust upside the head with love. Secret history. Our deuce petite war exhausts. The beleaguered cotton sheets collapse, must like imperial peace treaties. Frail paper climacterics hurl books at the clock, let bared shed clothes collapse, pile like starved bones in heaps, while moanings amaze our kiss-startled mouths. Oh, open Saki and Pernod Sapi sealed to play ma brune. Quebecois echo the keen wave of benediction, the white moon, plunging cold, burning into tropic black water, or lightning slithering in pitch for the candles on, the hydros off, lolling and juddering nervous dark, dis-moi que toi, Université d'Ottawa poli-sci doctoral candidates sack their sexes with smack, syringes. Can poetry absorb their tears? We can't claim the tongues we speak cut out of just slain mouths, or name the first language that allow explicit saying of feeling. Think of Chet Baker, his lyrical trumpet, Triste Tragique, that orchestrated lush ballad moods from eyes busted, decayed flutes, the sense of the Pacific corrupted, or of the Mediterranean dying, and then of skin stripping NY skin, his cool vocals refusing to mourn circa West Coast 50s or circa Roma 60s, his apocalyptic plummet, white boy Lucifer from a balcony in fin de siècle, Amsterdam. And nowhere in all that alabaster sonorous straight tone styling broken white music lurks a hint of the heroin that smoothed, punched out his teeth and kicked in his skull. All he was is music now. Imagine Josephine Baker swooning, dying, heroic old Parisienne, ambered butterfly. Art neutralizes our pain till only strong beauty's left. The weak flesh withers, the maker putrefies, then pales to diamonds. And it's not enough. It's not to open Huey Omer's Black Ladies laced by Leopold Senghor's Alexandrins, embroidering indigo women, sculpting their hair, regaling cubist shards of mirrors, or to sigh, you love women, or to open en bon terme and ask, t'es-tu mien? But your flesh is luculent gold silk, a kind of eloquent copper. I take rain from the apple to moisten your smile, and you snatch half of the moon. Somewhere a crow rustles through pines while we love. No sheet bleaching your guilt, nakedness, decanted turquoise of your dandled militating hair. Your 40s style film noir waist, belle epoque glory, memory of Juliette Greco, La Muse des Trotskyistes, milking ecstasy under Miles Davis's sable trumpet. Je t'aime, ma trop belle Québécoise, with your dark hair. I love to inhale that louche, parfumé oxygen that transports me to Baudelaire's seas. Heavens of corrupt rum and coconut, Havanas of unadulterated luxury. Je t'embrasse de tout mon cœur, je te veux. Oh, dark lady of imagination, you caught a train here last night and massacred your wool blue overcoat, your scarf black, your tall black leather boots, your wool green cardigan, your green blue plaid skirt, wool, your beige silk blouse, Chinese, your ivory cotton lace bustier you 2 days ago sewed, your British wonder bra, your black nylons, your barrette. Let's cry, shredded wheat and newspapers moan, half-forgotten scotch. I give you all I have, this epic lyric, lest there be only kisses, petals that lisp, whisper against skin, then crack into celibate silence. 11. For John Fraser, who wrote Violence in the Arts, 1974, and was right. We told ourselves history was finished. The Holocaust just a museum piece now. Hitler a cartoon Macbeth. Stalin a wax corpse. Pol Pot a tin pot version of crackpot Nixon. And Rwanda made a theme park of machetes. It was safe. Our whitewashed world was now safe. No more pyramids of bones and hair. No more napalm to char-broil infants. No more nerve gassings of infidels. No more landmines to blow off your legs. We could tune out the grisly technicolor of dark people's famines, plagues, massacres, or watch their cheap apartment blocks dissolve under the editorial resolve of our munitions. Our omnipotence was our doled out avarice. But all omnipotence has a weakness. Ours meant the cracking of bankers' never satisfied teeth, the bullshit of bought and sold elections, the guffaws of hucksters drowning out the pure toxic prayers of those who blame us. Out of our blue blank Disney postcard heaven came jihad of suave aerial assassins, whose glistening knives of hijacked jet aircraft sliced into 100-story high monoliths, as white and vulnerable as wedding cakes. It was violence as judgment, violence as kitsch, violence as aviation and concrete, violence as pornography, violence as X-Acto blades, violence as the president hunkered down in bunkers, violence as the Pentagon burned. It was violence as stock market manipulation, violence as crucified eagles, violence as maggots, violence as stabbed out eyes, violence as racism, violence as information, violence as shopping, violence as the Secretary of Defense cowering. Computer terminals gone terminally combustible ignited an inferno of black-lettered white paper, while plummeting concrete sheared off women's feet in red or black pumps and cut off fathers' heads, and left torsos bent over steering wheels in crushed SUVs. Those jets, with their hostage passengers, slammed into and toppled our towers, like Hitler taking Paris. Our infallible towers teetered, tottered, tumbled, crumbled, and crashed down like two Stalinist statues. They came down like twin Titanics, sinking. It was trauma and triage to be so shocked awake to history's revolt, its brutal, blazing insurgency. But do you have a right to finish your bagel and coffee? Do you have a right to see your daughter give birth? Do you have a right to exist without suffering? History shook that city that said history is history. A Malcolm X prophecy came to fiery, smoking life in a King Kong apocalypse of planes hitting towers. Unanswerably kamikaze, candidly unappeasable men insisted on dissolving citizens in fire and in glass. Though civilization often okays being blasé, on its margins there's suffering, intense suffering. Gothic outcasts always dreaming up catastrophes, and sometimes their lobbed fireballs hit home. No civilization survives without suffering. Now when we say I love New York, sobs may stun. Such silent subways right after the sabotage, then wailing, yes, and instant spirituals as in so many other exploded cities, London, Hiroshima, Baghdad, and Halifax, Nova Scotia on December 6, 1917. Let the damage be remembered, for we are damaged. The dead given faces are broadcast dead reclaimed. The nightmares witnessed, pondered, documented. The shed blood kept warm and wet and vivid, jetting from real bodies, our own, in pain, raw, ungodly, humanizing pain. Personal. This poem begins with a personal ad, which reads, attractive single black female, Ottawa area, 5'6", mid-30s, financially independent with strong Christian values, looking for a classy, educated, serious, and financially secure professional male with high aspirations, mid-30s, early 40s, for long-term relationship and possibly marriage, race unimportant. And now the poem. We used your fat Bible for our pillow and spliced the Song of Solomon with sod. You'd draw me rouge wine and a drunken bath, then lingeried in pastoral sheets under that L.A. nun's kindergarten pop art, gyring orange, green, violet hearts, crayons blazing, I love you very much. For we never lucifered our leanings, though I was rampant and you were slanting to pant, enmity against your mother. You donned a Gioconda chastity. Humbled, I went howling down 16 years through bachelor, lechery, wedding vow, limbo, a chopped up estate, cashed in bonds, and all brutal, hurtful, shameful struggles. But you'd bid only deviant architects and decrepit attorneys. I still rue, 837 Avenue Rochette, Sainte-Foy, Ville de Quebec, Quebec. That basement suffering descents of last October leaves and battering moonlight where we chafed, turmoiling a chilly bed, our lust culminating in a bitter seizure, unremitting ire a slick sleet, and I stumbled into the blighting cold of tears, pale stars punched like scars into the frail night, knowing the welling years would yell refrain upon refrain of loneliness and less. 4.2 for Andrea Thompson. The blasphemy of our Negro pagan crying against Eurolit's deathly white pages be a rude caricature of eloquence. Admit it, our vocabulary come from provincial flippancy. Our tongues tipple English gone sour. We be so much ill-lettered than them Tarzan fops or them executed ice-eyed existentialists. We be zombies outmoded, not they tom-tom macoot. So let them supercilious Caucasian critics praise slavishly our exuberant sing-song poetry, our sure good jive, our rap rhymes, our big smiles, our big fun with big words. This be the repercussions of black voice, to be dark ivy vying against marble tombs. Ah, Bellagio. Now, I must say, goodbye, olive trees. Goodbye, rosemary. Goodbye, pasticceria. Goodbye, gelateria. Goodbye, white black butterfly with the brown stripe. Goodbye, Villa Cerboloni with crooked doors and crack radiant paintings. Goodbye to that book of Chinese characters with its watercolor plates shimmering, green plants and yellow or pink flowers. Ciao to all the extraordinary women. Ciao to all the extraordinary women. And goodbye, Campari, gin and vermouth. Goodbye to grappa and Negroni and limoncello. Goodbye to the blistering roses. Goodbye to the great books, the greatest books, and goodbye to that black scorpion.